Against Gloucester. Are we expecting a good old classic derby match between these two?
Worcester needed to be a classic derby match. They need that intensity. When they get crowds, a big crowd there, which is great to see at Six Ways. They played Leicester a couple of weeks back, and they didn't reward that crowd. That slow start, they allowed Leicester to build up a lead. They cannot afford Gloucester to build up a lead. They cannot afford to allow them broken field opportunities. They need to make this a tight game, a tight physical game. Joe Carlisle picking the corners, defensively being closing on the space that Gloucester would enjoy.
Yeah, when Leicester played quickly in those first 20 minutes a couple of weeks ago, they pulled them apart. When Wasps couldn't play quickly in the rain, then you run into the Dale Rasmussen blitz and the defensive attributes of Alex Grove. But these guys you're seeing here, Nick Wood's absolute storming run for inclusion into the EPS squad. Narroway's playing well behind a pack that's giving him the platform. Most improved player down at Gloucester for me, probably Jim Hamilton, giving them a real platform. And then these kids behind, the sharpness of their hands against Wasps when they pulled Wasps apart suggests you're absolutely right, yeah, real clash of two styles. Worcester want this to be a dogfight and be 6-3, 9-6. Gloucester want a game of sevens.
Yeah, Gloucester are one of probably the best movement side in the league if they can get quick ball without committing big numbers. We saw at home against Wasps that fantastic victory was based on speed of ball, and then they get this movement game and the pace off the back. Look at the selection for Worcester. Betty, Abbott, Kovacic, all of them out and out sevens, all desperate to drag that down, because that's when Gloucester do get a little bit stodgy. It does put pressure on Freddie Burns and Rory Lawson. Find the answers from a kicking game. How are you going to get out of that? If Worcester can make it that, they get the crowd behind them, then they've got a chance of making this a real dogfight. If they can't, then Gloucester's pace just lifts up, where we saw Leicester for 20-30 minutes 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. If Gloucester do win that quick ball, they have so much pace. So the likes of Sharples, Trinder and Morgan, they will pull this Worcester defence, which has been formed really well this season. But they survive on slowing the ball down. If Kovacic cannot slow the ball down and Gloucester win quick ball, they're going to be torn all over the place.
Should be a tasty encounter, this one. Guys, thanks very much indeed. More from the boys at half-time. But it's the M5 derby. Worcester and Gloucester, and match commentary this afternoon comes from Dowie Morris and Johnny Hammond.
It is always a keenly anticipated derby when these M5 cousins clash, and the loyal Warriors fans have come out in their droves. A full house here at Six Ways to welcome Gloucester. Hit a bit of form after a sticky November. Two sides then with contrasting styles, but both desperate for a result. Gloucester pushing for the playoffs, while a win for Worcester would allow them to look up the table rather than over their shoulders. Well, Richard Hill makes just two changes from the Wasps game, both in the pack. Nat Mullen, one of Stuart Lancaster's Saxons last summer, packs down at one, with Tavita Tiamopo coming in at the tight head. Fellow veteran and Tongan Aleki Latui is the hooker. James Percival and Chris Jones continue in the engine room. Now, the other change is in the back row. Jake Abbott comes in alongside Sam Betty on the flank, and Matt Kovacic moves to number 8 due to all the injuries. That trio have never started a game together. Johnny R again gets the nod over Sean Perry, and Joe Carlisle continues to keep Andy Goode, the second highest point scorer in the Premiership history, warming the bench. In the centres, Dale Rasmussen and Alex Grove start their 12th Premiership game together this season. And if Worcester haven't been scoring tries of late, they certainly have the artillery to do so. Marcel Garvey and Miles Benjamin, both born finishers. Chris Pennell, the captain, is the fullback. Well, Gloucester also keep faith with the majority of the side that drew last week with Saracens. Nick Wood, ever present this season, continues at 1, with youngster Rupert Harden at 3. Scott Lawson, one of the 4 Gloucester players announced in the Scotland Six Nations squad this week, is the hooker. Jim Hamilton also in that squad. He packs down with Alex Brown, the only change and such an important cog in the Gloucester machine. His first appearance since September. Alistair Strokosh, another hoping to pull on the blue of Scotland next month, is on the flank with Akapusi and Guerra, who's back to his rampaging best. Luke Narroway wears the skipper's armband at 8. Rory Lawson and Freddie Burns continue at half-back. Tim Taylor is injured at the moment, so a lot of pressure rests on the young shoulders of Burns. Mike Tyndall and Henry Trinder are the centres. Will we see one of those leave the England EPS squad and one join next week? Charlie Sharples, another strongly tipped to be in the EPS squad, is out wide with James Simpson-Daniel. Ollie Morgan, the fullback, makes up a settled and very well-balanced back three. On to the splinter gatherers for Worcester. Craig Gillies missed the Wasps game but is back today, and that strengthens that back five unit. Ravi Fatiaki, the new signing, wears 23. For the Cherry and Whites, Peter Buxton, if he comes on, it will be his 250th competitive game for the club. Safe to say, a stalwart then. Well, 4 games without a loss for Gloucester now. Boxing Day saw an outstanding win over the Wasps, backed up last week with a draw away to the reigning champion Saracens. You get the feeling there's a sense of belief beginning to grow within this squad. For the criticism that has been laid at Gloucester down the years is performing mentally when it matters. Today is no final, but it is a sort of game they need to win to go to the next level and reach those playoffs, Dowie.
Yeah, I think Gloucester's league season has troughed and peaked really so far, hasn't it? The losses away to Harlequins, home to Sarries, then away to Newcastle are unforgettable, but the team still strive to play an attractive brand of rugby, and with Alex Brown there, I think they'll be given the ball today. Again, he was not been playing since round 3. He's been missed, so I'm expecting a good set piece from there. They're pretty good in the scrum. They put the squeeze on Worcester there, and that man, Trinder there, with Freddie Burns inside him, should orchestrate things in the midfield.
Big opportunity for the likes of Trinder, for the likes of Sharples today to push their cause ahead of Wednesday's announcement of the England EPS squad. Well, for Worcester, unable to win back-to-back Premiership games in 35 attempts. So there has been a spring and a step this year. A precious away win at Wycombe pushed more daylight between them and bottom club Newcastle. A great chance to win back-to-back games here at Sixway against Gloucester, who thumped them earlier in the season. So revenge is in the mix as well, Dowie.
It is, and I think on top of Richard Hill's Christmas present list would have been that win at Wasps last week. I think the smile said it all. It wasn't flashy, but very, very committed. Another victory, as you said today, Johnny, and the gap, I think, between the Warriors and the bottom of the league starts to grow a little bit.
Chris Bennett leads the side out. 2 sides contrasting styles, the effort and the grind, the determination of this Worcester side against the free-flowing Cherry and Whites. The sellout here at Sixways. Haven't had back-to-back sellout home crowds for some time.
It's a rugby-mad area, isn't it? Rugby-mad town. No tickets available. We hope now that the game lives up to that billing. Kavesic, he'll be crucial. 3 sevens playing in the Worcester back row. And Carlisle's been given, I think, the last couple of starts. They've actually said Andy Good can sit on the bench and rescue if we need, but this guy can orchestrate things. He can move us around the field.
Miles Benjamin this week linked with a move to Leicester. That would be a big statement for him and for this club to lose a player of his quality. Well, of a game before those sort of conversations continue. Martin Fox is the man in the middle. So the M5 derby, closest of rivals, 1-0 to Gloucester so far this season. And it's Worcester who get us underway, and it's Narroway, the captain for Gloucester, who takes the kick off.
Take them back, onside, get onside. Take them back.
There's Ngera. No Andy Hazel at the moment, got a bump on that
Stay on your feet, please.
broken thumb he had earlier in the season. So I could see Ngera, the out-and-out 7, the only real out-and-out 7 for Gloucester.
But he carries well for them, doesn't he? Offloads superbly when he's out in the open supporting play. But that time it was head down. Let's get back over that 22. And that time it was Sam Betty given the penalty away for going off his feet. Freddie Burns just pops the ball into touch, and it's a pretty good start. Started by Narroway, and then just watch this for a carry. Seven's normally the glamour boys, not this lad. He wants to take it up. There's a good combination there with Strokic and Narroway. A good balance.
And contrast that to the Worcester back row, 3 out-and-out open side flankers. Injuries to Balding, to Kai Horseman as well. And Alex Brown takes the line out.
I was just going to say, Johnny, first back in, first line. I want that first line out. Commands the airways. That's a good drive starting from Gloucester.
That first line out wasn't going to go anywhere else, was it? Alex Brown back in the fold since September. Been ever present for Gloucester over the last few seasons, hasn't he, Alex Brown? The man capped 3 times by England. Rory Lawson just waits. Simpson Daniel chasing. Gloucester.avi.
One drop.
There's Percival. Johnny Art to Joe Carlisle, who's really growing into his role as the playmaker. And there's a man who's so assured in the air. Ollie Morgan commands the airwaves, doesn't he, Ollie Morgan? Here's Trinder. He'll have his work cut out when he Trinder and Tyndall against very defensive orientated centres in Grove and Rasmussen. Burns. Pass look flat. Lawson just about gets the pass away. Here is Tyndall and Guerra standing out wide. So often does that with the offloading ability he has. When it comes to nothing in the end, but Gloucester beginning to show some width already.
That's right, but again, with all the playmakers in midfield, Ollie Morgan is always there at the back. Again, he's a superb fullback. Unfortunately for him, he's got the likes of Bendon and Foden Brown about. But again, look at this. Rasmussen's honing down on him. Absolutely brilliant take. Doesn't take his eyes off it and then makes those crucial 3 or 4 yards to get your back row into it. And that's what you need from a side, a good side. You've got to have your fullback. You've totally got respect for him. We'll back you up.
It just gives so much confidence to everyone in front of him, the 14 players in front of him. You know that high ball goes up, you know your fullback's going to take it.
It also takes out the fly-half or anyone's kicking that way, thinking, right, OK, there's a problem with the fullback. You know, he's just said, well, you can kick to me all day. And even in a 50-50 like that, he will still get up higher than everyone and then, you know, command the airways, like I said, and just take that ball forward.
There's Alex Brown. Played for Bath, Bristol and Gloucester. Only one of 2 players who have played for all 3 of those West Country sides.
Crucially, only 3 caps for England. He just around the time of the Johnsons and the Shaws and the Grewcocks and all that. And a good serve and a good... Again, he can run a line out, that's for sure.
Just got a hand to that one. Harden just tied these things up. And he's packing down with Jim Hamilton today as well, who's been in outstanding form. And Strokosh. Tyndall goes into Mullen and Kovacic. Freddie Burns again standing nice and flat. There is big Jim Hamilton, the Scotland international. Giving the penalty away though. Holding on. And that's what you get when you have 3 open sides in your back row. At the breakdown, that chance to win penalties.
It's good yardage from Strokosh, firstly, then secondly, Tyndall takes it in. And then big Jim Hamilton comes at a great lick and a great angle. Unfortunately, the support wasn't there. And like I said, Johnny, quickness of thought from that back row. Boom, over the top, not releasing Hamilton. You're 40 metres down the park. Here he comes. It's a good line, I like that. He's not drifted, he's coming back on the line, but straight away, he's not in there hard, he's not in there quick enough. Referee Fox is. That's a penalty.
Great work from Jake Abbott, the local lad. 23 years of age. Percival again at the line out. Carlisle rushed into his passes. Miles Benjamin. Little offload to Pennell, good hands. Gloucester.avi rather overran the pass, but took it anyway. Johnny Art. Lecky Latui.
Hands away 2.
Oh, again, comes down the short side. Carlisle thought he saw something there. And it's
Onside.
door was just half open, wasn't it? Quickly closed by the Gloucester defenders. There's Percival again. It's a great offload from Latui. Johnny Art. Grove. Good wide pass. Kovacic. Good quick ball for Worcester here. Carlisle. Grove is out wide again. Flicks it inside to Rasmussen.
And away. On.
Need to keep their patience here, Worcester. Well documented their inability to score tries this season. These are the sorts of opportunities at home that you have to take. Johnny R. Carlisle. Plenty of numbers outside. Pennell. Miles Benjamin frustrated he didn't get the pass. He had Garvey outside. Penalty Gloucester. Wasted opportunity, and the look from Richard Hill says it all.
I know what he's thinking. It was tremendous play from the Worcester Warriors. Both forwards and backs, Carlisle coming in. It's Trinder, sorry, Freddie Burns jumps out there. He's been marshalled. They've been hidden a little bit from the midfield. He's sort of defending on the wing. Jumps out and they just get round the back, and unfortunately just can't get that quick ruck ball. But good play. Latouille in particularly, some of the offloading was superb. And again, that's what makes the space for everything else. We talked about the contrasting style. It's actually a contrasting confidence as well to be able to play that well, to play that way. They tried it in the first part of the season, and it didn't come off, and they just went back into type. This is the future, I think. Latouille, great player.
You know all about the Tongan policeman's driving ability in the loose. That offload just surprised Gloucester, didn't it?
But then again, it's not too risky. If you've got a support player coming, wait for the guy in front to make the decision, and if you're coming on a rattle like that, it's great. Straight away, you're through that big red wall that's up there, and it's the way forward.
Hold there, guys. Hold
Changing
there.
the point of attack. Lawson. Here we'll look for the box kick.
That centipede, as I call it now, just extends back further and further since Saracens have introduced it.
So Garvey being tested again. It's a great chase from James Simpson-Daniel, isn't it? And that's when a box kick can be so effective. Right on the money, good chasing, and tackle the man into touch your line out, and you've gained 30 yards.
Yeah, you just got to give your chasing man, as in Simpson-Daniel, a chance to get up there. There's Garvey taking it. Simpson-Daniel's there, he allows him to come down, pushes him to touch. Superb. 20-metre gain, and they've got the throw in the line out. Very good play from the scrum half and the left winger.
Quality scrum half, isn't he? Rory Lawson. Alex Brown, line out number 3. Line out number 3 to Alex Brown. Tyndall picks up the loose ball. Burns. Little dink over the top, just testing the Worcester back 3, and again, Gloucester will have the line out. Effective kicking game in the last minute or so from Gloucester.
Yeah, I think Freddie Burns, pretty good kicking game last week. He just, against Saracens, they kick a lot, and Gloucester kicking a lot. Talking to Brian Redpath before the game, you know, it needs must. I think it was a fantastic draw. 5 penalties from Burns, so he can kick off the 4 as well out of hand. Definitely one for the future. Is he one for Lancaster? We will soon find out next week.
Hamilton, it's a big paw to it. There's Morgan, Simpson-Daniel. Still commands so much respect in attack, doesn't he? James Simpson-Daniel. There's Brown in the midfield. And Worcester trying to slow Gloucester down. Gloucester so dangerous when they have quick ball. Lawson to his Scotland international pal, Mr. Strokosh. Burns again, Trinder straightened. Harden was in front of him, almost like an American football blocker. Tyndall, Morgan. Ball just pops out of the hands of the Gloucester fullback.
You don't do that in front of the ball. You're in front of the ball.
Martin Fox penalising James Percival. Very, very decisive referee, Martin Fox.
You can't do what I didn't quite see that. Did you see it, Johnny? Let's have a wee look.
There is Percival.
Good pass. Yeah, good pass. Ollie Morgan, you can see what he's trying to do. Get his arms up and away. Grove does well.
Here comes Percival on the right of the shot there. Dragged Tyndall out the way.
Oh, that's very lame. Come on, referee, please.
And that is very much to the letter of the law.
Well, very much, yeah, but Tyndall's lying on top. Still trying to get to the Worcester player, and all he's done, he hasn't hurt him at all, he's just pulled him away from it. Goodness.
Well, what it does do is give this first opportunity for Gloucester and Freddie Burns, striking them well before the game. And slots that one nicely. 3-0 to the visitors.
Good strike. Again, that's what you're judged on, that's what 10s are. Unfortunately, Rory Clegg, the lads were saying it in the studio last night, again, just did not nail those kicks. He's a fantastic prospect at 10. down at Exeter the week before. He left 14 points out there and just didn't nail enough kicks really to keep Harlequins in the game, and then the game went away from them. So crucial. Well done, Burns. Again, first blood to Gloucester.
5 out of 6 against Saracens last week. Really good draw. Really good draw against the champions, who are playing some good stuff of late, Gloucester. That sticky November, didn't they? Bayern Redpath's men. But they did play the likes of Saracens, Leicester, I should say, and Toulouse, Harlequins. A tremendous performance out in Toulouse, of course. Minutes away from winning the game. Clement Proctor had other ideas though and won the game late for Toulouse. Rory Lawson scampering underneath the tackles to Nguera. Had the pass called by Johnny R, and he intercepted it. Abbott, his Grove, Rasmussen. Really opening up now, up to the 10-metre line of Worcester.
Stand your feet!
Oh, just gets that ball away somehow, Carlisle. Stepping again, he's a tall, rangy man. And a strong fend. Not used much last season, was he, in the Championship? Joe Carlisle, Andy Good was the man.
If in doubt, give it to Rasmussen. You are going to make 2 yards.
Latui. Carlisle again. Good feint with the eyes, wasn't it, from Carlisle there? Penalty right in front of the post. Gloucester not rolling away.
Not here, thank you. Away we go.
This is where it comes from. Good play there from Lawson and Guerra, and then it's brilliant from Johnny R. Would he be calling for the ball? Probably he would be calling for the ball. I'm a Gloucester player, honestly I am. And then they're off and running. They should have made a little bit more than this. They're just passing the ball, they're not committing players. It's easy for Gloucester to defend. But again, both sides want to play, and I think this probably evens up that penalty for Gloucester that I didn't think should have been awarded.
The ball, and then you're just dragging people out. Can't do that.
Here's Johnny R, cheekily calling to Akapusi and Guerra. Seen it happen before.
It was part and parcel of the game. If you pass the ball, it's your fault to a man.
Especially with you scrum halves.
Yeah.
See anything?
Anyway, here is Joe Carlisle.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
75% so far this season. 2 from 3 last week against Wasps. Nearly 6 points scored. And he's nailed that one right through the uprights. It's all square.
Even Stevens. Akapusi and Guerra making a pretty good fist of it so far. Most penalties conceded for not rolling away. Gloucester top of the table with 25. That's what that penalty was given for. Slowing people up, slowing the ball up. Part and parcel of the game, but don't get caught.
There's Benjamin. Been in the papers this week, hasn't he? Plenty of chat about his future at the club. He and Marcel Garby still haven't signed contract extensions here at Six Ways.
Stay there.
Well, both wingers are an absolute handful, again, given open space and given firm pitches and given the ball at the right time. And that's what, you know, in glimpses we've seen that with Worcester, but not totally for those full 80 minutes.
There's Burns swapping place with Tyndall and Guerra. Can't take it, it's gone backwards, all set up by Ollie Morgan and Pearce in the air again. Rory Lawson. Burns. Thinks he sees some space there. Pennell. Softer ground out there, as you expect for this time of year. Slight breeze from left to right, but nothing really to trouble the kickers. There's a good return for Chris Pennell.
Yeah, Grove, the Scottish international, is doing a good job out there. There's a good tackle on Akapusi and Guerra when he sort of dropped the ball behind him. Then he just tried to counter-rep through. Unfortunately, there was not enough support with him. Ball's gone over and Pennell relieving the pressure at the back. Of course, they had Eric Claessens, didn't they, at the beginning of the season, who was just tearing everyone apart. So they've got ammunition when he comes back from injury.
One weight, number 1.
Pennell again, technically very sound.
And release.
Richard Hill very keen to give him the responsibility of captaining this Worcester side at the beginning of the season. For a time with Pat Sanderson, the young man. Richard Hill saw him as the future of this club. Good understanding with Kai Horseman as well, a senior player in this Worcester side. Housemates. And he's leading this side well, Chris Pennell, playing well as well so far this afternoon.
And Richard Hill looks on. I think he'd be quite happy with the start. You know, they are trying to create things. The trouble is, I'd like to see, from a Worcester Warriors' sake, a little bit more pick and drive up the guts. They've got some great forwards out there. They need a little bit more direct. What they're trying to do is go wide too early, and it's easy for Gloucester to defend from. And then they give us silly penalties away.
There's a free kick for Lawson. Takes it quickly and gear up. How many carries so far already? Burns. It's off for Worcester hand. Sam Betty was the man. Miles Benjamin.
Out.
Not known for his kicking ability. He's put one high there. Oh, Ollie Morgan can't take it. Miles Benjamin can.
It takes Pennell to get in Ollie Morgan's way, really. There's a mistake from the Gloucester fullback.
It was a good kick from Johnny R because he knew that Ollie Morgan was up in the breakdown area. It's an even better kick to push Worcester back again.
Just wondering, did Johnny R actually touch that? This is it. See, Pennell's gone up. That's pretty good. You're allowed to do that. You're not taking the man out of the air. Both people looking at it.
Out.
Benjamin on hand, and then the kick. No, he didn't touch it, so it's put in. Throw in, sorry, to Worcester Warriors. Latui with the ball.
Bright sunshine here at Worcester. Packed house. And it is a tremendous venue. Perfect for Premiership rugby. Doesn't quite work out between Carlisle and Miles Benjamin. Benjamin just hovering, wasn't he?
Number 5.
But it won't really matter for them because they have the penalty and it's Alex Brown who's penalised.
Number 5.
Yep. Wants to get involved. He hasn't had much game time of late.
He fancied nicking that one, didn't he?
Okay, a look.
It's a pretty good kick.
Yep.
Played in the A-League on Monday night. Alex Brown. Against Saracen Storm, had 40 minutes, and that was enough for Brian Redpath and Carl Hogg to say, yep, we'll put you in this derby game.
Pete Buckton played last week in the second round.
That's the last one, get it open.
Buckton's been filling in that role with Jim Hamilton in the second row.
Wonder if he enjoys it. Would you rather play the back row or the second row? I think probably the back row.
First man.
No way in the front row. Oh. That's what they need more of, the Tui, and then straight. Unfortunately, they just go straight out wide.
Benjamin. This time it does work out. Gets the call from Kovacic. England under-20 international. Percival. The big ball carriers showing up here for Worcester, the likes of Latui and Percival. Kovacic as well.
Narroway was complaining he was taken out on that blind side.
Garvey plays scrum half. Kovacic again, Johnny R this time, the recognised scrum half. Joe Carlisle tries to go himself. Tyndall is there, Nick Wood.
Just take the knock on. Scrum.
Thought it was on out wide. Knock on from Gloucester. It was isolated Joe Carlisle. Tyndall was all over him.
This is it. It's the Benjamin break from Carlisle, switching it back inside. He didn't think much was on, really. People weren't quite knowing what to do. They were stuttering on their feet. And all of a sudden, you had 20 metres through. Again, one out. And then it comes through. It was Erasmussen taking a Gloucester defender out the way. And then it's the offload. That's Kovacic there on hand. Like I said, they're playing 3-7s, 3 out-and-out fetchers today. So again, they've got a lot of pace in the background. They need to do more of that. They need to be more direct. They need the first to 3 defenders beaten. Miles Benjamin.
When you have finishers like Miles Benjamin, Marcel Garvey, I know Richard Hill was very insistent that they shored up their defence after coming up from the Championship. Wise thing, they brought in Phil Larder to shore up that area. But when you have the likes of Garvey and Benjamin, you need to get the ball to them, and when Percival and Lutui are making the inroads into the defence, that's when the wingers can come in.
Well, it's that great word, momentum. We saw it with Northampton last night. Once they can, get on a rattle, it's difficult for defenders to actually get back in a line, and that's when the likes of Foden, again last night, can exploit gaps. That's what you've got to create for these two. They're great finishers, but again, against a drift defence, it's very predictable where they're going. Create, again, opportunities for them by forwards smashing through and quick ball.
Well, the scrum has gone down, but Marcel Garvey and Miles Benjamin on this near side.
Okay.
Strike move coming, question mark.
This way.
Again, it's up to the front rows, and there's one lad in there, Nick
Guys,
Wood, who I've
head on
tipped
head.
for
Give him a gap
the
to go in.
EPS.
Yep, same here.
On the
Give him a
Gloucester
gap to go
loose
in,
head side.
please. Thank you.
I think he's a great loose head.
Red's
They've
in.
been pretty good all year, and actually Rupert Harden on the other side of the tight head haven't let them down. It's a big scrum there for Gloucester, but also good attacking scrum for the likes of Johnny Arr and his boys.
Nick Wood, ever present for Gloucester in the Premiership this season. Over 140 Premiership games now. He's an experienced campaigner. 28-year-old, it's gone the other way. Carlisle drops it. Gloucester come away. Sharples kicks, and he's screaming after it as well. Pennell goes back. He won't have much time. That's a speculative kick in, and Roy Lawson picks it up. Here's Narroway.
Still playing advantage. The 8 was offside.
Struckos it was. Burns goes wide using the boot. Marcel Garvey can't take it. Scramble defence here from Worcester. And from being an attacking scrum in the 22, they are now 4 metres shy of their own try line. Such are the margins in this Premiership. One drop ball,
Well,
and you're down the other end.
that's it. One lapse of concentration. A great scrummage. A fantastic platform. A goodish pass,
If you're in the
really.
10, you must
Ish
drop.
from R. It was there. You shouldn't drop those.
You
And
didn't
straight
do
away,
anything. You stood still.
again,
You've got to
boom,
get out
off you
the
go.
10.
It's kick and chase. Pennell, the captain's trying to get back. And again, I think Joe Carlisle's off the Christmas card list from his front row. They did their job. He didn't do his. And again, a very, very bad kick from Pennell. So one bad mistake handling, one bad kick, and you're in this situation.
They might have forgiven him by next Christmas.
You know, front row forwards, they're like elephants. They never forget.
Yeah, you're right, they never
things
forget.
like that.
And Alex Brown again with a line-out take. This is why he's so important. Knows the game, this area of the game so well.
4, get out!
Straining everything for the course.
Got to keep going forward, isn't there? That tortoise is moving closer and slowly to the line. Everything's communicated. Lawson's there, ball at the back.
It's gone left, now it's going right.
Okay, now. That's one. Use it.
Burns, long pass. Trinder. Morgan. Sharples. He's down. But has he got the ball down?
Time off.
Half tackled, but he got back to his feet, and as he squeezed into the corner.
No,
Graham,
he's
can you
I
hear
think
me?
he's shaking his head.
Graham.
We go down to
try
Graham
this one
Hughes. He'll
out.
have to put his pipe down now. Make a decision. Well, I think from Charlie Sharples' reaction that he doesn't think he scored that. Here he goes. There's the first one. Well, I think he's grounded it. Is his foot... Again, he can't obviously tell the proximity of... I would say he's obviously definitely grounded that. It's whether his legs... I don't think we're going to see from this angle. That looked okay, so it's the second attempt. It's Rasmussen coming across.
What's the blue boots?
It doesn't matter if he touches the flag. He loses it there. He loses it, then regains it.
I'm not sure. Is grounding the issue here, or is it the legs out to touch? Both.
I think probably both. Video ref, try yes or no. So there's two ways the TMO can go with this. So he loses it there, then he gets it back. So as long as you've got the grounding, and as he's grounding, his hand's on it, so that has to be a try. As long as his feet are in play, I would say that's a try.
Certainly from that angle. The
Yes,
decision is coming.
Thank you.
Try's been awarded. And it's in those situations when it's tight, you want your finishers, your wingers to score tries, and that's what Stuart Lancaster and Andy Farrell will be looking at for England.
There's a lot of pace here, isn't there, as the ball comes out. Trinder goes, and then it's just passed on by Morgan, and that's a good fish. He rides the first time. There's Trinder sliding across. That's fine. Yes, Rasmussen can't stop him in the corner, and that's what you want.
18th Premiership try of his career, his third this season. 18 tries last season, didn't he, when he really broke through, Charlie Sharples. Still just 22 years of age. Now Freddie Burns, a difficult kick from the touchline. Struck it very well indeed. That is a sweet conversion from Freddie Burns. 10-3 the score now.
Good strike, and that's what you need from your 10s. You can talk about it week in, week out, but again, you get paid to kick the goals, and that's what this lad is doing. He got the draw last week against Saracens away, and it's actually great. But coming back to Sharples, who we've got Ashton. Ashton, obviously there's clouds over him playing last night. He didn't have much ball, really, to go at. So you've got to say Sharples is in the mix, definitely.
Who else? Would you have Mark Cueto there, Hugo Monyo?
No. I think Mark has had his time, and he'll never retire, which is fine, because that's the right thing to say. But I think it's time for the youth and the youngsters to have a go. And again, that's what's exciting about England and Stuart Lancaster and everything that's going on, and getting them training up at Leeds. You know, it's great to see these guys performing week in, week out, and reward the guys. That was a great finish from Sharples. You know, it's 32-man squad.
Can we work on the gap, please? Can we work on the gap?
I'd put him in, no problem at all.
Stay on
And
the
also
line.
inside him, that little arcing half break, sliding across from Trinder, set up the move, didn't it?
Oh, it does, and that's the biggest problem. Who, you know, 13s in this country, who have we got? Anyway, we'll go back to the game.
Chris Jones took the line out and drove well as well. And Latui, very evident in open play. Carlisle has his charge kicked down. Freddie Burns says, I don't want to get involved in that physical stuff. Passes it on. Tyndall, shape to pass, and then
Not
head
held,
down.
not held. That's good, stay there. Thank you.
Giving a good understanding with Trinder, isn't he?
And release!
Tyndall scored a lovely try between them against Toulouse in the Heineken Cup over in France. There's Nick Wood. Burns again, just sat back on the kick softly, drops it into that 22, and Gloucester are playing rugby in the right areas.
Yeah, he's moving the super tankers, the forwards around, and he's moving the whippets around as well, and he's just doing that well with the hands, through the hands for the backs, and it's just what his forwards want to see.
Thank you.
Not what Joe Carlisle, unfortunately, making that mistake for Worcester Warriors underneath the Gloucester posts. Their forwards don't want to see that. That's great play. It's like they played Saracens last week. Saracens are a big kicking game about territory. And, you know, that's what you've got to do. It was a super kick. They're under pressure, and now they retain this ball, and off they go again.
Can't kick loosely to this Gloucester back three. Saw them there. Sharples, Morgan, now Simpson, Daniel. There's three defenders beaten just there. Still got it, isn't he, James Simpson, Daniel? Burns. Sharples knew his hands needed to be quick, just didn't have the accuracy on them as Miles Benjamin tackled him. Trying to make amends for letting Sharples through for the try.
No quick one.
Another one who's
Change of ball.
unfortunately not been England's favourite, or the people who are picking England teams over the last few years hasn't been. He's obviously injury prone, but
Out, please, thank you.
strong as ever, elusive as ever.
Hold it there, time off.
I'll learn to speak in a minute. But again, he's a great player
He's
to
in the
watch.
way.
Really good hands, great awareness.
Yeah, just 10 caps for England. He's had bad injuries at the wrong time in terms of his England future.
It was
James Simpson-Daniel.
It was always the case, sorry, Johnny, that when he gets selected, next week he's going to play for Gloucester and then get injured, and unfortunately so many times that happens. So, but again, one-on-one, he's just an elusive runner. He's great. He has great awareness around the field. He's just a natural rugby player. We're stopped at the moment for an injury, hopefully not too serious, to Nick Wood, the Gloucester loosehead prop.
Alex Brown playing alongside Jim Hamilton, formerly of Leicester, wasn't he? Jim Hamilton and Leicester up next this afternoon, 4:45, Sky Sports HD1, Leicester against London Wasps, and also on Sky 3D channel, 2 old warriors going head-to-head yet again, and Wasps desperate for something, aren't they?
Differing seasons, really, and I fear for Wasps. There's a cloud over them as far as the ownership, and I think that's been reflected on the pitch. Unfortunately, losing to Worcester Warriors last week at home 6-0. They'll have to have one heck of a game to beat the Tigers today.
So many injuries, retirements, serious injuries for Dai Young to deal with. Honest as ever, though, the Welshman. Here's Gloucester, though. Back here at Sixways. Tyndall, Narroway, so comfortable with ball in hand. He's been a favourite of Stuart Lancaster's as well in his Saxons days. Stokosh can't take the ball with him. Seen that a couple of times already this afternoon. Picked up by Worcester. Nothing coming, so we'll have a scrum to the men in blue.
I was just saying Gloucester are winning the battle of the contact. Well, they are actually on the breakdown area and taking the ball in. Unfortunately, then just slipping away. Stokosh getting that ball knocked out of him. But Vesek again doing good work. Alex Brown's got a little bit of comedy blood, but it's difficult because you can try and see what they're doing. They're moving play around, the pods are going out from Gloucester, then you've got Burns totally in charge at 10. They just need to get in those areas. They're playing a very territory game, and they're just waiting to pick Worcester off, and Worcester's trying to get out really of their half and struggling to do that at the moment.
Currently lie 7th, don't they? Brian Redpath's men alongside Carl Hogg there.
We've been waiting for you. Let's get on with it.
Scored 24 tries, conceded 20, just 4 points.
That's middle.
In 4th place, Leicester coming into this round. It's such a tight premiership, isn't it? 11 points ahead of this round, ahead of last night's victory from Northampton, separating 4th and 11th.
And I think Richard Hill will be looking at that game at Newcastle against Exeter.
You ready, guys? Come on.
Kingston Park, and, crucial, I think, if they were win today and Newcastle to lose, that would give them some breathing space. But it's like you said, there's no easy games in this Premiership.
Yep.
There's no givens.
Let him in. Let him in.
2 scrum halves, both coaching, obviously. Redpath for Gloucester, Hill for Worcester, know all about that.
Touch.
It was that result loss up at Kingston Park at the back end of last year, 26-23. That was a really frustrating one for Gloucester. Both these sides, in fact, had tight losses, tight wins, but it's converting those tight losses into wins.
Don't drop your feet, both of you.
Yeah, there was that big sort of loss, wasn't there, away to Harlequins early on when Harlequins started things off, and you thought, ooh, this is quite interesting, and then
get it out.
At home lost to Sarries when Owen Farrell put that ball through for Brad Barrett right to score at the end, and then that away win to Newcastle, you think, oh, the pressure, and it did go on Brian Redpath. They've just turned it round, and they do play a good style of rugby. They like to, to get the ball out to the wings and the fullback cutting in.
Great scrum from Worcester. Mopiao on the tight head, along with Matt Mullin. Great scrum from the Warriors.
It was a good hit. Ball goes in, it just squeaks sideways. Both the tight head and Gloucester loosehead go down on the knee, and then area of concern really for Worcester last week. Even in that victory over Wasps, Wasps line-out was very good, and a couple of the scrums they did struggle in, but obviously they sorted it out. Phil Davis Downey doing the forwards has done a pretty good job
Yeah.
this week, obviously. You've
Yeah.
got some big lumps out there, and it's so crucial to get your set
Stay on
piece
this
going.
one here. Don't close it. Look where we are. Don't close it, guys.
Line out. Goes wayward, and Roy Lawson picks up the ball,
Always inside.
kicks downfield, and again it's a tiny mistake, but it makes such a difference on the park. Joe Carlisle.
Wait, wait.
And Worcester from a tremendous scrum. Kick to touch, and they can't win the line out.
And that's something you can't, well, you can coach. Obviously, you go through the process of a line-out call, whatever.
You were talking about our Newcastle Exeter game. There is the latest.
Exeter.
Hayden Thomas with a try for the Chiefs.
Well, I'm sure Richard Hill may have a little smile on that one, but and as far as that line-out went, no, a great scrum, a great position, and then he just coughed up possession. And again, it's those small margins that win you or lose your games. It's as simple as that. Every game is difficult in this Premiership, and he will not be happy.
It's something you can train in the week, isn't it? It's a static skill
Still in.
to get it right on a game day. But those are the pressures of these professional sportsmen. Pennell. Good defensive line for Gloucester coming up.
I can sense the Worcester faithful, the supporters, are wanting them to do something at this moment in time.
He's one man that can do something. Marcel Garvey, of course, formerly of Gloucester. I'm up the M5 in 2006. Burst onto the scene, didn't he? Gloucester came through the academy there. Great take from Ollie Morgan. How many times do we say that a season? Strokosh, Sharples, lovely pass from him. Trinder and Guerra, 2-on-1. Simpson Daniel, well tackled by Marcel Garvey. Now the cavalry arrive to secure that ball. Brown's off the knee.
Not the way I saw it. Not the way I saw it.
I think you wish it's gone off the knee, Johnny, but this is a tremendous take from Morgan. Pennell did him earlier on in the game, getting up and put him off the ball, but this time he does not take his eyes off it. He just stretches out there. And they're two cats fighting over a mouse, and they just will not let go. And the ball comes out, and this is great hands, got to say, from Trinder. He just holds this ball up. Just watch this, hold. There to Nguera, and then Nguera, if he'd have just come in, again, the defence was coming across, sliding across. Simpson Daniel going with the ball, and as this comes out, unfortunately for Gloucester, the mistake happens with Brown knocking on.
It's that half step from Trinder, and I've seen him in an England Saxon shirt, do it in a Gloucester shirt. It's a half step just to straighten, to fix the defender. And it's exactly what you want when you've got the runners outside.
Half step, hold it with your shoulder, gives another one, someone like Simpson Daniel, with a bit more pace, a better chance, an extra yard chance. It's good defence from Worcester.
And it is
Wait! 8 and 7!
a position, a shirt with a question mark over it for England at the moment, isn't it? 13, Manu Tuolangi unable to play the opening few games of the Six Nations, we think. Joe Carlisle has kicked the ball out, meanwhile. Mistakes beginning to come into Worcester's game.
And that's when you need your 10s, your 15s, your decision makers at the back to do the right things. And that, easy to say, but you can't do that. You're under the pressure, you're 7 points adrift. Come into the turn, and now all of a sudden this will be a time for Gloucester to score, and they'll be quite happy just with a penalty. 3 minutes to go. Good throw in, good line out.
Hamilton launches his huge 6'8" frame. Johnny R nicked it though. Nice Benjamin running after this one. Sharples will win the race and then skews it off the side of his boot. And earlier, when Worcester were on the attack, find themselves by their try line. Now it's Worcester's turn. Sharples straight out to touch. It'll be a line out in line with where he kicked the ball, just outside the 22.
the Christmas spirit is still here at Six Ways. Both sides gifting opportunities for the other side to score. And they said Sharple's making an absolute horlicks of that. And now it's a great chance for the Warriors with a line out to get plenty of time to try and secure some ball from this and get into it.
Straight down your own line.
I'll stop talking because they're going to throw the ball in straight first.
Scrum it is. Straight
They're
down
just
your
making
own
too
line.
many mistakes, Warriors. Got to say it.
That's the last two line-outs when they've been in good positions.
You're not going to win games if you don't get your darts right.
Stand in the middle.
Not getting the line-out right at the moment. Scrum's going well, but Joe Carlisle
Same as the
kicking
last
the
one.
ball straight out
Same
to
as the last
touch.
one.
And of course they have Master Puppeteer on the bench, man who's been there, got the t-shirt, the mug, the tea towel, the lot with Leicester. Andy
Touch.
Good
Pause. Engage.
plucked up a few points in his time as well. He can kick you into positions.
That's your last one.
But Joe Carlisle
That's your last one.
started 6 games this season. Has been the man in possession of that number 10 shirt in the last few weeks. Richard Hill talking him up this week. One of the brightest young talents in English rugby.
Crouch.
He needs to have a very good game, Joe Carlisle. He needs to put the few mistakes he's made so far this afternoon.
Engage.
Is to put them away. Roy Lawson fed the ball, inverted commas.
On.
I can't believe you haven't reacted to a feeding in the scrum line, Dowie. One of your pet hates. He says nothing. New Year's resolution, possibly. Here's Lawson again, waiting. Pennell says that's mine. Thank you, Miles Benjamin. And that's why he sets off. Tackled in the end by Harden. Good run from the captain. There's Jake Abbott. And Matt Mullen. Got handling ability. Johnny R. who's opening up in front of him. It's another drop ball from Worcester. And they are showing really good signs in attack. The offloading ability coming to the fore. But it's the final pass.
Well, they do when someone makes the decision to do something and be direct. This time, Pennell takes this ball and decides, right, OK, so the chase isn't up. There's massive space there between, is it Sharples and Kapusi and Guerra. That gives you the chance to get through, and then it's what you do. It's a good run then, good rumble. Mullins, good. This is what you want from your loose head props. And unfortunately, Johnny Ari was going to get tackled from narrow way, but he was through the gap. That's what they need to do. They need to create more creation and actually a bit more guts from these people who are taking this ball and said, right, I'm going to have a go at you, Gloucester.
Crouch.
That's an old phrase, isn't it? Make a good decision, make a bad decision, but make a decision.
Pause. Early red.
Free kick, Gloucester.
They've got to go.
Worcester, I should say, against
Or they
Gloucester.
could go another scrum. Sorry, Johnny, but they could go another scrum. What do they decide? Probably will go set piece because it's a free kick. They can't obviously.
Scrum.
Time
Okay,
is
scrum.
up.
Yeah. Scrum time. Maybe a hit in, 8-9. Maybe a strike move, if not, drop goal. Come out of there at least with some points.
Okay, Mo Piao. This is why Sight Head Props earn the money they do. This is his territory, alongside fellow Tongan international Leki Letui.
Crouch.
Well, they're edging it in the scrum. You would say that. Gloucester scrum, much vaunted sometimes, but today.
Pause. Engage.
It's gone down this near side, that's Wood. Full penalty now. And that is why they made the decision to go for the free kick. They sensed, they realised they had the edge on Gloucester in that facet of the game. And Gloucester have stood up, and it's a full penalty now. And the players congratulating each other.
Well, it was their only decision because they're no good in the line-out. They've lost the last two. So basically a free kick. Let's go. Let's get something out of this game, something out of this half. And that'll bring them up to 6-10, just 4 points. And I think we've got to say they do deserve it. They've been part and parcel of this game. A large amount, and the other go. He hits him well, Wood. Then he goes down on his knee, picks up. He really is, squeals around, and they're going forward. All Martin Fox can do is give a penalty, and there's the congratulations, there's the thanks.
Okay, Mo Piao getting the congratulations of his teammates. If you did hear some rather unsavoury language, I do apologise. But Joe Carlisle now to make it 6-10 right on half-time. An important kick. Struck it well. Crowd tell you the flags confirm, and it is 6-10 at half-time here at Sixways. Dowie, your thoughts?
Well, one little bit of, I suppose, brilliance or good finishing from Sharples, and really what you've got to say is a scrappy game. It's a perfect derby. Both sides trying the damnedest out there, but unfortunately losing the ball on too many occasions. So a pretty good 40, hopefully a better 40 in the second half.
6-10 here at Sixways then, and this M5 derby, tight, fascinating second 40 on the way.
Yeah, Worcester still right in this one, but what good timing from Charlie Sharples. The EPS announced on Wednesday, and the Gloucester winger with a fine finish, a tick to his name, and the Cherry and Whites have the half-time lead.
Cold showers. I'm glad I'm not a rugby player.
Game 2 this afternoon comes from here at Welford Road. Leicester, the form side in England right now. One loss in their last 10 sees them right in the hunt in the Heineken, as well as motoring up the Premiership table after a fairly awful start. Back into the familiar territory of the playoff places. Richard Cockerell's side unlikely to want for motivation this afternoon against their old foes, London Wasps. It's a 5 o'clock kickoff here for that one, and we're also in 3D. But we're at the halfway stage at Sixways, a classic case of Worcester failing to take their chances, and Gloucester have snaffled theirs. Charlie Sharples with a great finish. It's helped the visitors into a half-time lead, 10-6 to the Cherry and Whites. And in terms of who has shone in that first half, well, like all good open sides, Akapusi and Garrett getting through a lot of work in defence. Alex Brown back in the Gloucester side today after injury, and he is, as always, doing a job at the line-out. Worcester struggling there as a result. Miles Benjamin's had a little bit of ball and beaten a few defenders, but unfortunately for Worcester, they have been unable, as we said, to cross the whitewash. We've got Jan, Dean and Will with us here this afternoon. Let's start with Worcester, first of all. Frustrating would be the word that I would imagine Richard Hill will be feeling at half-time.
They've been in some excellent areas of the field. It's the type of game they would have looked forward to playing. It's exactly a bit scrappy at times. They get in amongst Gloucester, but you've got to take your chances. You can see why they've only scored 9 tries this season in the Premiership. You know, they do the starting, they build up to good positions, but then knock-ons, people not working hard enough to get in the right areas of the field to offer themselves as options. But really, you've got to take the chances when they're on offer. And far too many errors for me from Worcester in the game so far. Whether it's a line-out or opportunities to score. Here, it's a great opportunity. They've created the opening. They've pulled in defenders. That ball has to go. You can see Miles Benjamin out there crying, but you see Garvey's outside him as well. There was a try. You've got to take these chances.
I think more so for Worcester that they must take the opportunity on the strike. You see here, puts Benjamin through the hole. They are creating that sort of opportunity, but once this slows down, they do not have the continuity game to keep the threat up. The front 5 go missing a little bit, it becomes easier to defend, gets slowed down. You can see there, great opportunity for Garvey to run a hard inside line and threat. So they just don't have those component parts to keep moving after the initial break, and that's why so many of their great breaks just seem to dwindle down.
Nasty, efficient sides feel the sort of heel on an opponent's throat and press it down hardly and go, you're not getting out of here. Worcester sort of get in those positions of superiority and then make those errors. At times, we like Carlisle, but he's getting a little bit too flat at times, so he's getting caught when he's not trying to make breaks. Line-out fell apart later on in that second half with real territory. So they don't build the pressure that gets the crowd into it, that lets them build on the scoreboard. And Gloucester, they've had that one chance and really they took it well. To me, they look a better side, Gloucester, at times. But again, their errors have let them down a little bit, but a really, really smartly taken try.
Yeah. Gloucester quite smart tactically as well. They recognise that the 3-7s is going to sit in midfield. They're playing this wider front, playing behind the runners. They want to drag that Worcester defence open. Then they'll come looking for the front 5. They know that Worcester front 5 is vulnerable if they get caught with too much space open, but they've got to drag them open. You can see, looking for the wide. This is a classic example. You see, Worcester get too tight. I think it's Rasmussen just pushes that little bit too hard, holds Grove that little bit too close to him. There's no reason why they can't now when they've got it. You see, Grove got him. Good, should be able to push. Benjamin should be able to push a lot earlier. Then Pennell's got Sharples nice and easy.
It's that knock-on effect we often talk about. Just something happens too close. We saw Northampton away at Castra. Little things add up. So what happens there when Rasmussen's a fraction tight? Pulls in Grove, then Benjamin. Oh, not happy with Benjamin there. Richard will be furious. Phil Lard will be furious. Gets tight. Can't take away from this.
Yeah.
They invite Morgan into a hole. Morgan then gives Charlie Sharpers a chance, who busts a tackle. Great finish. But Hill's going, no, fellas. That's not a very dynamic driving maul. They have not caused us problems. Why have we conceded a 7-pointer?
The players that impressed me, 9 and 10, Lawson and Burns, their kicking game, they've stretched Worcester around. They stretched this tight 5 for Worcester, who aren't comfortable in those spaces. They made them work. And really, that's paid dividends for Gloucester for me, 9 to 10. They've also got Alex Brown back, who wins that quality line of ball for them. They're far better shape and structure to Gloucester, even though we've talked about their ability to score tries and their mercurial talent. But there's far more composure and poise in the Gloucester game than there is in the Worcester game.
I think for Worcester, just looking to find some shape. Their line-out's fallen apart. The selection of the 3 back rowers leaves them pretty short. Jones and Percival. But Gloucester have got 4 guys to squeeze that. The 1 ounce of comfort that they've got is at scrum. Tamerpo's been outstanding. Nick Wood must be saying the week before EPS selection, where's the big fella gone behind me? Used to be Hamilton and Buxton. Brownie's come in, the line-out expert. Suddenly we're 2 or 3 stone. And Tamerpo just is getting the squeeze. Got an earlier penalty. And they're just getting a little bit front foot. I haven't seen anybody move Nick Wood this season at all. He has been outstanding. So is that late change, just in terms of Brown coming back in, gives them a little bit more line-out, but they do lose that little bit of grunt up front.
As far as Worcester are concerned, we've mentioned the fact that it's quite stuttering going forwards. How frustrating is that for Richard Hill at the halfway mark of the season that they're not finishing chances like that? And have you seen anything over the last few weeks to suggest that actually, I mean, they're still very much in the game, but that they can turn this on around?
A lot of this, we talk about the physical aspects of rugby. A lot of it's mental as well, in that they are creating half chances. They did make breaks against Leicester, even though they got stuffed 32-13 or something of that scoreline. But they just don't flood channels. They're not going through. They're not expecting people to make breaks. When you play for a good side, he's going to make a bust. I am going down
why
that
is that?
channel.
Is that coaching? Is that skills?
Or is it confidence of the side? You don't think he's going to make the breaks. You think I've got to look after the contact area, as opposed to this is going to work. We're going to be behind them. I'm going to run the shortcut to get there.
You look at someone like Ashton. He realises the players alongside are capable of making breaks and will always follow that inside track for the shoulder. That's what Garvey didn't do there. He didn't think anyone was going to make a break, so he wasn't going to bother making that run supporting angle. And that's what you need Worcester to do.
Yeah, they're also an evolving team. The selection of Carlisle is about playing more, playing on a wider front. At the moment, they haven't got the front 5 that can necessarily travel around the corner and flood those channels. They are a front 5 that's been used to a kicking game, used as set piece. Think of the Worcester side over the last 3 or 4 years. Good driving line-up, good scrum, good kicking game. Yeah. Now they're trying to evolve a little bit more. They are caught and halfway along the evolution process of saying, yes, we want to play that, but actually we can't get our big men round the corner. And they just have to keep persistent. Like Carlisle, got to keep playing with him. He is flat. He has got to find his way. They've also got to find some front 5 forwards that can get round and help him out.
OK, guys, thank you very much indeed. A quick break, and then the second half coming up in just a couple of minutes' time. Gloucester came into this one in 7th, but looking to climb up the table. 4 wins on the trot, and they are halfway to making that 5. But Worcester, a lot of courage, a lot of steel within their ranks. They need to find a little bit more execution as well in the second half if they are to turn this one around. Howie Morris and Johnny Hammond, your commentators.
Well, thank you very much, Alex. What an important penalty right on half-time for Joe Carlisle. But we are hearing that Joe Carlisle will not come out for the second half. Tactical substitution, Andy Good will now play at fly half for this second 40. Big decision, Dowie.
I'm not surprised. I think Carlisle, as Dean was saying in the studio, is the future. But if you want to win games, there's only way you're going to win this game is by the boot, and that's actually kicking the ball out of hand into the territories and letting your forwards hopefully sort out their line-out problems. But equally, Andy Good, as we know, has got a colossal boot on him, and he can kick off the floor. So, yeah, I think it's the correct thing to do from Richard Hill and Phil Davis.
Many people would say it's a negative decision.
No, it's all about winning. So they could do, yes, development and all that, and how pretty it looks on the pitch. This is a derby. We've said it, how many times have we said it, the M5 derby? You know, a point. Thank you very much. Worcester Warriors bragging rights at home. We've just beaten Gloucester. Thank you very much. 4 points, extra to us in the bag. It's all about that today.
And to get back-to-back wins, unable to do that in 35 games, Premiership games. Worcester Warriors, that win at Wasps last week, a narrow win, of course, secretly the lowest winning scoreline ever in the Premiership. Andy Good now on the field will put Worcester in the right positions and will kick his goals, you think. Now here we go then, the second half in this derby, and Worcester saying all week, saying all season they want to turn this ground, 6 ways into a fortress. Marcel Garvey with a wonderful step to start this second half.
Inside fellas.
Great step from Marcel Garvey. Freddie Burns has kicked as far as Pennell. Pennell onto Miles Benjamin, looks inside, finds Sam Betty, the former Cornish Pirates flanker. Latui. Good offload from Matt Mullin. There is Andy Good, former Leicester man. Johnny R sniping. Did that in the first half, didn't he? And then dropped the ball.
No scrum half there now. They don't want to get too isolated. Worcester Warriors. It's been a fantastic start to this second half.
Rasmussen looking for the offload. Andy Good has to go in to secure possession. It's Abbott. Young man with a bright future, so many people are saying here at Worcester.
Hands away, 6.
The open side. Andy Good, Miles Benjamin, they saw him coming that time. Nick Wood with the tackle. Good, Rasmussen. Head down from Rasmussen, gets over the gain line though. Good start this for the second half for Worcester. Mullen, plagued with injuries until this season, had a good run of games. Good, drop goal. Well, if we were playing football, pretty good goal, but we're not.
He knew the penalty was coming. To his credit, Sharples was offside.
But it all started from the kick-off, didn't it?
Brilliant.
Marcel Garvey.
Again, good talking to probably half-time, so you're not going to win this game by Hill or Davis or whoever. Just say you're not going to win this game unless you take it responsibility. And you've got to say, Garvey just said, right, OK, Shield is by his forwards. Big Jim Hamilton misses him. That's a great step, and then he's off and running. That's what you needed to do over the top. Good bounce of the ball, it runs forward. And Trinder. Sorry, Burns is there. Sweeping at the back, but again, a tremendous start, and that's exactly what Richard Hill would have wanted. If this goes over now, you score every time you get down there, and Andy Good now has the responsibility.
It's been a tremendous performance this season, Marcel Garvey. Andy Good, this is what he's been brought on the field to do. To kick goals like this. It's off the posts. Followed up by Abbott, though.
Come out,
3 points has gone. Could 5 or 7 be on the cards? Latui.
Wrong way. Wrong way. They were screaming to the left.
Gloucester, great defence drive. Worcester back initially. There's plenty of men on that left-hand side. They went right. Good. Rasmussen steps inside and Guerra. Tui picks up again. Stopped in his tracks. Demopiao. Kovezic. Hand got in there.
It's knocked on there from Red.
And he's knocked on by Gloucester. Scrum to Worcester in a great attacking opportunity.
It is, again, it's the communication. Do they take it up the front? Do they take it with the forwards? Do they go wide? You know, it's all about bashing at the moment, isn't it? It's bludgeon, it's no beauty about it, which is fine, and they do so well. Like I said, Abbott takes that in, and you think, right, for all love nor money now, this ball comes left. They're sweeping there with the big forwards. Akabusi and Guerra could see it. Unfortunately, again, it's a pick-up. It's an individual decision rather than a team decision. They've gone, and that allows Gloucester then to get their much-trusted defensive lineup, and they snaffle out, well, what should have been a try, really, for Worcester.
They're shifting the focus, aren't they, away from the defence, which they certainly have shored up Worcester this season. They're moving to try and score some tries.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem, John. You just said it's scoring tries. Fewest tries scored after round 12. Worcester, is it bottom or top? It doesn't matter which way you want to. They've only got 9. And you can see why there, really, because they get very anxious when they get to the line. It's all about how we're going to score. Do we drive with the forwards? Do we use the backs? They get mixed decisions, mixed communication.
Newcastle have scored 14 tries. Worcester just 9 ahead of this round.
The bonus point as well, they're not scoring tries, so they're not getting that extra bonus point, you know, getting 4 tries in a game. It just puts pressure on you when you're not winning games. If they were winning games, fine, you know, they'd be mid-table and something to build on. Big scrum now for Worcester.
Touch.
Conceded
Pause. Engage.
18 tries, Worcester, and that's a good stat. And Saracen Northampton has conceded 17 tries, so they're right up there in terms of one of the best defences in terms of conceding tries, but need to start adding scoring tries to their results so far this season.
You can hear the communication there. Andy Good talking to Grove, Rasmussen, and just need a good set piece, but we saw this last time during the first half when the ball, great platform, and Carlisle, who was on, drops the ball and they lose nearly 70-75 metres. So
Space loose heads.
good scrum now, good platform. Good fancies it. Rasmussen's there, Pennell is there, Grove is there. They're all waiting like hounds.
Got that penalty right on half-time from the scrum, didn't they? Now, Goo. Oh, he's straight through, Andy Goo. 5 minutes on the field, and Andy Good shows his class. The man who has won Heineken Cup titles and Premiership titles with Leicester. It's a simple step and he's underneath the post and gives Worcester the lead.
Very well taken. There were so many options outside, he just decided to take the decision himself. That's a good slip inside. So the youngsters, Freddie Burns, he misses his man. Akapusi Ngera then misses it. Conversion is an easy 2-pointer. That's a tremendous 7-pointer. And whatever Hill or Davis said at half-time has worked, because Andy Good, they made a decision. They made the key decision. You bring your experienced guys on. We thought with the boot that will be evident, I think, in the second half. But again, the decision maker to say, I'm going to go myself and score a try. They love it.
And there were just shades of a little bit, you should be picking me.
Well, that's what you want.
In that try.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. Stand up and say, right, coach, you should have picked me from the start. You didn't, but I'm going to make a difference in the next 40.
Well, he got used to scoring tries last season, Andy Good, in the Championship. 12 he scored last season. And he scored an important one. How important, we will see. There's Ollie Morgan. Burns and Tyndall. He's into the heavy traffic. Slightly isolated, and Worcester with those 3 open side flankers in their back row looking to turn that ball over.
And this is where, you're right, Johnny, this is where Worcester needs to work now to keep Gloucester in their own half. They just scored a try. Gloucester in their own half now will have to be forced to play or to get out of their own half.
Tyndall again to Narroway. There's the big dummy. It's not bought by Chris Jones. Former Sale man, of course, come over in the summer. Chris Jones, along with Kerry Jones, he's out injured as well. Burns again behind Ngera and Strokosh to Simpson, Daniel, Trinder, and now Sharples. Good positioning from Pennell.
Wait.
And there's space there. Can he find it? No, he cannot. Straight out from Chris Pennell.
And just when you want to be putting more pressure on Gloucester, a mistake happens from Pennell, ball out on the full. Gloucester will leave another 20-25 metres. And they're right now camped on the Worcester 22.
Put these on the line.
See, these very, very, very
on the line.
short margins, isn't it? Make a mistake like that and you pay for it.
Blue on the line.
He went for that kick, didn't he, when he possibly didn't need to. The Gloucester backline all up, had acres of space to aim for.
It's a good press. It's all about can you survive? Can you do things when the pressure comes on you?
Chris James Purcell trying to disrupt this line out. It's a beautiful ball for Hamilton. Lawson, intricate move. Trinder slicing one through for Morgan. Miles Benjamin is there. It's brave work from Miles Benjamin, it really is.
That's a lovely, lovely move. I think Richard Hill, deep inside him, was saying that's not a bad move, is it? It's the slip ball. You see then Lawson coming round. Then it goes and it's through. They're chasing out wide. Good covering.
And it's a tactic that's becoming very popular, isn't it? Northampton with George PC of late has been chipping the balls behind, much rugby league style.
Yeah, try Newcastle, wasn't there? Foden on both occasions, actually, the ball went through. Again, as defences come up flat in a sense, they're driving, put the ball behind, a bit like rugby league, and if you lose, you can use anything you want.
And Gera, down that short side. Scott Lawson drops it. Met with a huge roar from the crowd. Gloucester doing a Worcester.
And from the players, I think there's plenty of time to go
just here
at the moment. Scott Lawson normally very, very good with ball in hand. One of the big carriers for Gloucester. And Gera goes forward, gets brought down. Abbott's in there, and then the ball comes out. The ball, just one of those things. Just one of those things.
Just momentarily took his eye off the ball. So Worcester scrum on the 5-metre line. Needed to be solid. And Andy Good in his howitzer of a boot to clear the lines.
It has been solid, hasn't it, today? That's another good scrum.
Really good scrum. Kovacic, not a recognised number 8, only played there, started there once this season, slipped there after Ezra Taylor went off after 2 minutes on his debut against Wasps last week. Sad that Taylor snapped his patella tendon and possibly won't play for the club again. Shortest club career of all time, I think. Here is Good. Normal service resumed.
Scrambling away best you can. This is the scrum. Stroke archery, you're not allowed to do that with your leg, unfortunately. The referee said you are. You can make contact, but anyway, they got away with it. Worcester Warriors back in this game.
Stay on it.
Really good.
Makes you work on the gap at the front.
Kicking Worcester inside their 22, but it's Gloucester with the line out. It's the area that's working really well. Simpson Daniel to Morgan.
Knock on. Vantage blue.
Beautifully free flowing down that back line, aren't they, Gloucester? But Ollie Morgan has stayed down as Worcester kicked down into the Gloucester half. A real ding-dong, a real derby game here at Sixways. Everybody giving everything to the cause. Ollie Morgan is down and is still down. The decision is a scrum to Worcester. And again, the ebb and flow, the seesaw nature of this game continues.
It certainly does. It's fluid play from the Gloucester backline. Ollie Morgan's down there, and it's all too easy, really. It's lovely hands, and as Ollie Morgan comes down, he'd be scythed down by Benjamin. As it comes out, he can't keep hold of that ball. Andy Good doesn't fancy 60 metres down the park, but he does the absolute correct thing. Pressure's on, and you could say maybe Freddie Burns needed to go out. He's very brave. He drops on the ball, and all of a sudden, boom, he's hit by 1, 2, 3, they're over it. And the result is a scrum put in Worcester Warriors.
And actually Burns has done really well not to allow Worcester the ball there.
On that occasion, you're right, Johnny, yeah. It could have been quite easily turned over. The referee, Martin Fox, said there's just too many bodies. Obviously, the forward movement's coming from the Warriors.
It's enough. OK, we'll stop it then. Stay there.
And I think he's going to stop play because there's a head injury to Ollie Morgan. I don't think it's serious, but obviously I might be wrong there when I said head. It looks like his ankle.
It's a serious injury, isn't it? The stretcher's been called for as soon as he went down. We saw in real pain Ollie Morgan. He has had his problems with injuries, isn't he, over the years, Ollie Morgan? Jaw injuries, shoulder injuries, hamstring injury this season. And Johnny May, presumably, will the man to come on for Ollie Morgan.
We've got a drink.
Another one. This youngsters production line that Gloucester are producing in their back line alongside the likes of Trinder and Sharples. Freddie Burns, Dave Lewis on the bench as well.
Well, May's supposed to be quicker than Sharples, so you're not losing anything of pace. You lose a bit more security at the back if Ollie Morgan goes off, but obviously Sinbad, or James Simpson-Daniel I should call, can move back to there. This is the first half, this is the first try. That's Trinder, that's good hands from Morgan. Unfortunately just leaving the field, and a superb, beautiful finish by Sharples. He didn't think initially that he'd got it, and Andy Good's on. 40 minutes from Carlisle, you're going to get the next 40 from me. You can see the celebration, you can see what it means. That's it, really. First spark from Worcester Warriors in that beginning of the second half, and that's the scoreline, 13-10. Not a very good sight for Gloucester fans. Ollie Morgan, superb player, and played a pretty good first 40, but obviously injured now.
Feet forward a bit, okay, thank you. Let him in, please. Crouch!
Sad to see a player of Ollie Morgan's quality go off the field, but
Pause! Engage!
show must go on. Kovacic doing well at 8, isn't he? One little blip of the scrum earlier on in this half. Sam Betty. There is the ball. Squirts out now for Johnny Arp. Preferred to Sean Perry, of course, the former England international. There's Johnny Arp again. That looks slightly high for Makapusi and Gare. The arm is out from the referee. And he good again trying the drop goal. He knows there's a penalty coming.
Swinging arm. There's a time off.
Keep it down, please. Come here, please. Keep him down. Okay, it's just a penalty, and off we go. For high.
Luke Narroway saying he's absolutely milked that. Well, he's going to be very careful. He shouldn't speak to referees like that. Trinder has, put a...
Swimming here. Trinder's getting
Makapusi and Gare. He's gone round the neck. You can't, unfortunately, even though you're trying to tackle the guy. Trinder goes in. I think whether Trinder thought he was actually penalised for that, but you bring the guy down by the neck, you're not allowed to do it, even though Ngera is 6 foot whatever and Johnny R 5 foot something.
Just wonder why Henry Trinder was being spoken to, but
I think he may have thought that he was actually being the one penalised. I don't know. All I do know, he's got this for 3.
Andy Good then. Already scored 7 points this half. Can he make it 10? Oh, yes he can. Oh, yes he can. Richard Hill pacing up and down the touchline. They're happy. He will be slightly happier with a 6-point cushion now. And what a substitution at half-time. Andy Good at fly half.
And as far as Worcester concerned now, you do not make any mistakes. You clear your lines and start again.
There's Johnny May. Fighting for everything. Richard Hill said this week it's the best feeling that this group of players has had. That win against Wasps.
Not held.
Meant so much to them. Winning away from home, first time in the Premiership season.
Didn't get on side. Number 7.
So many dangerous runners. 6 points the difference. You can not count them out at any stage of a game.
Oh, and plenty of time, 25 minutes, when you got Simpson, Daniel and all these guys on the pitch, Trinder and likes, there's plenty of time. There's definitely no need to panic yet.
Lawson onto Lawson with the Scott variety.
Don't do that. Language, thank you.
Referee,
Number 8.
rather school teacher-like, telling the players not to do that.
There's been plenty out there. Obviously, the referee's got something in his pocket. He could,
Yes, I do. Language
he
from
could get
number
out. I think it's the language to number 8 when he is doing something. He's just penalised Kovacic for foul language. Penalty, gone into the corner, and now more pressure. So again, it's not only discipline with hands on ball, it's actually what comes out. It's absolutely correct. And as I was going back to, there is something he can do. It's called a yellow card. Because Luke Narroway had a go before.
7.
It's hotting up out there. Now look at what Narroway is, captain. He can ask the referee what the decision is for, but he can't really instruct him on anything else.
Another line outtake. That man Brown.
Number 8!
And the driving more. Kovacic is in there, but he's been penalised now. There's the penalty coming.
8, you broke and then went back in. Number 8.
Kovacic, so eager, so hungry. A bright future ahead, you feel, but just showing a little bit of inexperience there.
And so lucky. I don't know if there's inexperience, Johnny. He's just basically he's an open side flanker that wants to get in and stop the play. But again, this is the inconsistency we see with referees. Some referees 5 metres out, he's gone in illegally, stopped the play. That's a yellow card. Martin Fox deems that differently. There we go, line-outs, run on own throw. That's those 2 lost. Gloucester, fantastic, 14 due to probably that man Brown. Oh, as soon as I say that, he wins it and then they lose it.
114, lost 1. Always the way,
And
isn't
what a
it?
position to lose it in. All the pressure starting to build on Worcester. One sloppy line out, one big hoof from Good,
Keep looking, guys.
and they relieve the pressure.
And that's what Worcester were doing in that first half.
Like a reverse mirror image, if that's possible. You know what I'm talking about. They get up there, Latui's
Number
through.
9.
He's reacted well, hasn't he,
He does.
Latouille?
Time off.
The old war horse.
Worcester 9.
Yeah, Sean Perry. Coming on, very different player to Johnny Ark. Sean Perry is on now 14 times. He's capped by England.
Just there.
Had a little cup of coffee in French rugby, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah.
Short time in Brive.
But again, another correct decision from Hill. He would have come on, I think, about this stage anyway. Not that Richard Hill obviously decides at a tick of a clock when certain players comes on, but I think it's the right thing to do. Much experience, very, very physical around the base. Bit more like a back row forward, and he will be chirping and chops into his forwards, that's for sure.
Lawson. Here's Johnny May. Scored that crucial try, didn't he, against Connacht in the Heineken Cup last minute. They're on the verge of losing 3 home games in a row. That's when it really becomes worrying for Gloucester now. Losing at Kingsholm.
Stay there, stay there.
He did have a run of 21 wins in a row. Before Saracens beat them and then lost a few. Turned it round against Connacht.
Okay.
Just becoming scrappy out there, and you think that may well favour the home side.
Rasmussen is throwing himself at everything. Narroway is looking around at the back saying, what are you doing throwing balls like that? But again, Rasmussen, you give him a target, he's taking you.
7.
Simpson Daniel passes the ball. Trinder then to May, and he just takes him. It was a Rasmussen, it was a combination of
We're going to carry on. He's down there. All right.
Benjamin and Rasmussen, one in the back, slightly illegal. As
Time
Nguera
off.
goes off. Cox on.
Yeah, Matt Cox coming on.
Let's go.
Formerly Worcester Academy man, turned up one day at a training session as a 14-year-old lad. And Nigel Melville was here and said he was too young. He said no. Had the training session. And now playing for Gloucester, wearing 20. There he is, Matt Cox.
Bit like Mike Cat back in the
Crouch.
back in the years when he turned up at Bath, wasn't it? Well, he turned at Gloucester first with a rucksack on his back, and they didn't give him a contract. Went to Bath, and as they said, the rest is history.
Miles Benjamin feel Worcester have got the bit between their teeth. Pass is fired out from Perry. Grove, that's a huge kick from Alex Grove.
Wow.
Somehow it doesn't find touches. Sharples using that pace.
Wait, hold there, 4. You're on now.
Perry goes back. He's in his 22. To Andy Good. There's plenty of time.
14!
There's Simpson Daniel. Onto Johnny May. And he's got bags of pace, Johnny May. Cannot kick loosely to this Gloucester back three. Penalty coming. Simpson Daniel again. Great opportunity for Gloucester here. Burns misses out Hamilton. There's Cox. Just come on the field. Lawson, Sharples, trying to find a way through Charlie Sharples. Already scored in the first half.
Still playing the advantage.
Burns again, advantage still being played. There's Strokosh, needed the offload. Didn't come. Worcester trying to turn this ball over. Nick Wood is there. Simpson Daniel.
You got the mark for me.
Heavily involved in this. Andy Good has turned the ball over. But we come back for the penalty. To be fair to the referee, he said he was still playing advantage.
He was, but how long do you need to play? I mean, that's through...
Not rolling, number 6.
10 phases. Look, it's his decision, it's no problem at all. But again, it's the inconsistency. Sometimes you just say a few phases enough, and then other times it's, 20 or 30. But Gloucester's still on the attack. They'll be frustrated they didn't get anything out of that, but they're still down there. But again, one missed kick from Goody, and all the time Perry was back there defending. Puts the ball to Goody. For all the money in China, you think he's going to hoof that out. He didn't, and a great counter-attack using May's pace. So lethal, this Gloucester side.
In a line-out in a very similar position to a few minutes ago. They went to the tail. Referee wasn't happy though. Chris Jones looks on.
Space.
Will Brown, who runs the line, he'll be calling another move. That was for big Jim Hamilton at the back. Will it go back to there or mix and match? It's a good place to have a rumble off, isn't it? These Gloucester forwards fancy this, instead of the Gloucester backs.
They go to the same man. Still no men put up in defence for Worcester. Looking to stop the drive rather than challenge in the air. Huge blindside now. Simpson Daniel just trots over that way. Now the Worcester defensive line has recognised the issue on the blind side. Slowed right down. Scott Lawson waits.
Number 4, drop please.
There's Matt Cox. His former club. There's Rory Lawson's sped up again. They use those four as a little pod. There's Tyndall. Again, they go the same way. There's Strokosh. She's lifted up.
That's fine.
And brought to ground. No problem.
Stay there, guys.
Crowd thought they saw something, thought better of it, and quietened right down again. Right to Freddie Burns. There's Tyndall. Good pass from him. Trimmed up, Marcel Garvey. Oh, Garvey is away here. Sharples coming across, but nobody will stop Marcel Garvey. And they're absolutely delighted here at Sixways. Look what it means to the crowd. Look what it means to Richard Hill. Look what it means to the players as well. 21-10 now.
One mistake. Richard Hill puffing out his chest like a cockerel on the touchline. Marcel Garvey, thank you very much. There was flyers all over the pitch. Here we go. Ball goes down. Garvey takes it up, and they're off. Sharples is coming across. You'll see him hopefully in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. There he is. He's given up the chase. Can't get back. Garvey's done it. I think it was May puts the ball through Tyndall. Well, you're treading water there, mate. You're not beating this guy. Look at that! What a finish. There you go. No one's catching him. One of the quickest on the field, and he's just proved it.
Against his former club, Marcel Garvey scores his 32nd Premiership try, and what an important try it is.
Cheers, thank you.
Now Andy Good is not able to add the 2.
Number 9, 2 and 3.
What an important score. You knew Garvey was away, and then you saw Sharples just looming, but Marcel Garvey still has that out-and-out pace.
Just wait 10, please. Just wait.
Picks it
Trinder
up
makes
from
the mistake.
Trinder.
Yeah,
cheers,
Trinder makes the mistake. Do a disservice to May there. Happened so quickly. Look at that for style. Not so much about the tongue out, but that was a good finish from a flat-out sprinter.
And just as a winger, as a finisher, a born finisher, live for moments like that. The crowd went wild, didn't they?
Well, he didn't have the best game last week, even though they won. Worcester conditions were terrible. He could hardly catch a cold there, and it's just had 1 or 2 opportunities, or 1 opportunity to run 65 metres, and he's taken it. He's going to get a bit tasty now. Oh my word!
It's Purcell and Hamilton right in there.
It's a not straight.
And Andy Good just coming into Purcell and saying, calm down.
Yeah, just come back.
No, 2 big pushes, that's all.
11 points the difference
Okay,
here,
just
just
the captains.
calm it down.
Chris,
Discipline, no discipline again with
Yeah,
the
okay.
ball, but also discipline.
be quiet, please.
I
It's
was
my
going to
chat.
say with your
It's my
fists.
chat.
We will listen.
Okay, it's my chat. We've had good discipline throughout, okay? It's a good game. Let's get on with it. Keep the shape of the game, okay? All right, we're going to go for the not straight. Not straight.
Sensibly,
Scrum.
the referee
Blue.
telling both captains to just calm things down. Wasn't straight at the line out. Let's just get you up to date in terms of personnel. 2 changes in the front row for Gloucester. Dario Cistolini is on. Yeah, Italian A international.
Who's in? It's theirs.
Matthias Cortese is on hooker as well, Argentinian international. Dave Lewis as well has replaced Rory Lawson at scrum half. So consider yourselves up to date.
Touch.
I'll be very surprised if Worcester changed their front row.
Engage.
Rory Lawson going off there is a big call, isn't it?
It is, again, because he's a big carrier of the ball with
I'll
them.
give
You
you the
don't know
benefit there.
the
He's just
situation,
come on.
but they
Stay
just
in this
probably need
side.
they're thinking fresh legs. As Richard Hill made the decision at half-time, let's get Good on. And then
Time
obviously
off.
Perry comes on with, what, 20-odd minutes to go. You know, these are the decisions you've got to
Square
make.
and
And
straight.
they've decided, let's change the front row. We may get an edge there, or we may just get, you know, sort of fresher legs around the paddock.
And Dave Lewis going on for Rory Lawson. Experienced Rory Lawson off. Just over the 12,000 mark
Well then,
here at
let's
Six
go.
Ways.
Time on.
And you heard
use
the
the line.
full roar of this sellout
We'll use the
crowd
line.
when Marcel Garvey was screaming down that touchline. Such
The great
loyal
sight.
supporters.
Yeah, like I said,
I'll keep
it's a
on.
massive
Keep on.
rugby town, and this is a tremendous site stadium we're on, and
Touch.
opportunities to build and develop.
Pause.
The thing they have been lacking over the years is, you've got to say, a successful side.
Square.
And they'll take that.
Straight in.
They'll take the time.
Must be square and straight.
The very
Straight in.
important thing you're missing out there is a tremendous pie at half-time.
I've got to thank Ben for that pie. It was very nice. You organised
Number
it.
3, Angle.
But Worcester again using their
Come on.
strength at the scrum. It was such a hallmark of their play last season. They've been in the championship, an absolute hallmark of their game last season, and they are turning
This
the
one,
screw in
Angle.
that area of the game against
Number
Gloucester
3,
here,
Angle.
and they're not rushing to the line out either.
No, it's a hallmark of any game. Richard Hill knows that, and I think Wasp will find that out in the next
Just there.
game that's coming up against the Tigers. It's so
there.
crucial.
Count up.
You can't play off anything as long as you know, if you haven't got a good platform or a good ball to play with from the base of the scrum, or even from off the top ball from the line out. It's so fundamental, so crucial. Warriors know that. Gloucester now are scrapping. They're scrapping for this game, that's for sure. 11 points down. Converted try and a penalty brings them still one short, so they'll be probably looking for 2 tries, but at the moment they've got to come out and play, and Worcester know that. They'll just carry this ball in, man after man, come around the corner, drive in.
Richard Hill said to me before the game, 3-point win, we'll be quite happy with at the end of play today. They've got more than that, 2 tries already. There's Perry, Atui. But importantly for Worcester, they're in the Gloucester half, and another penalty, kickable penalty as well. Chris Pennell races to the spot to make the decision as captain.
And that's exactly what happens when you've got the experienced players like Perry out there, Chris Jones, experienced Good. They'll just say, let's keep the ball, even though they were getting hit back at that situation when the Tui took it.
Shot.
You know, Cox went off his feet, given the penalty away. They're under pressure to get that ball back. They'll give the penalty away, thanks very much, and give this guy another chance for another 3 points, or it takes a minute off the clock as well. It's all about winning this game. It's not about entertaining, not being glamorous. It's bragging rights. And actually, where they are in the position of the table, like I said, it's just about getting those 4
guys,
points.
1 and 5 Gloucester after the kick.
Gloucester have beaten Worcester the last 4 times they have met in the Premiership. In round 2 earlier this season, 29-8. It was at Kingsholm. Momentum beginning to build for Worcester. If they can hang on this last 10 minutes. They've won 4 of the last 5 games, and have, of course, into a break with Europe and LV Cup. Might get a few of their injured players back as well. Here's Andy Good. Very kickable for with his quality, and he's missed it.
22. Okay.
Utter shock and surprise on the face of the supporters.
And number 5.
You can tell by his reaction what he thinks about that kick.
5.
Not happy.
Hold it there, please. Just wait. Just wait. Okay. Time on.
Strike said the crowd liked it at one point. And as you can see, it slips past the right. But again, in the right area of the field.
It's 8 points now they've left out there, Worcester. No score for Gloucester in this second half. 6-10 it was at half-time. 21-10 it is now. Dan Murphy's come on for Nick Wood in the Gloucester front row, so a completely new trio. Dave Lewis.
Take him back.
Tyndall still wanting to play. Free-flying movement game down the back line. Burns, Trinder, Simpson Daniels there. Scrapping for absolutely everything, Worcester here. Real determination as Gloucester try and take it quickly. The officials aren't happy.
Don't shout
because
at me
it's
like that, thank you. Let's go.
Worcester line out.
What a shouting out there, isn't there? Referee doesn't like that.
Yeah.
Well, it means something, doesn't it, to both these sides?
It certainly does.
Let's
And
get
so
on with
it
it,
should.
guys. Let's get on with it.
Proper derby, proper rugby game. Again, you won't get any points for
Go.
Beauty, I would say, but there's a lot of Bosch out there. There's a lot of bruises. We'll be putting some ice on them later.
There'll be plenty of botches and bruises at Welford Road later on following this game. Leicester against London Wasps. Sky Sports HD1 and Sky 3D as well. Lewis, Burns, Hamilton. Can Gloucester find something at the moment out of bonus point?
Got it. Too slow.
Range.
Advantage red. Thank you.
Simpson Daniel, can he find a way through? Lewis looking for that ball. They want the mark for the penalty. It's offside. Burns wants to hurry this game up now. He's wasted absolutely no time, but he needs to get his kick into touch.
Brilliant kick.
Fabulous kick, isn't it, from Freddie Burns, that?
Brilliant.
Didn't have time to think about it.
Look, you're 6 minutes, get a try, convert the try, 7, another try, thank you very much. What's all the fuss? It'll take some doing, but Gloucester, they showed against Worcester, they can score superb tries from anywhere. And now it's
the line.
they're drinking a last chance saloon.
On the line.
They're drinking in Teague's barracks for sure.
Cortese to Hamilton. It's not straight. Again, they were so imperious at the line-out work, mate.
Blue, scrum, scrum.
And that's one for
It
a
wasn't
fly-half.
straight.
If
What would you
Freddie
like?
Burns can go to the
What would you like?
forwards, the front row,
Scrum
or
in
the
there, come
hooker,
on.
Cortez, and just say, mate, I'll put you in within 5 metres of that line, and you can't throw that ball in straight. Over 5 metres or 6 metres or 7 metres. Frustration.
I don't need him.
Very frustrating for everybody. Brian Redpath, no doubt.
Let's get on with it.
Just
Okay,
tear
thank
your
you.
hair out time, isn't it? Freddie Burns is... If he'd marked on the touchline where he wanted the ball to go,
Again, he
he
had to-
couldn't have hit it any
You've got to
quicker.
go for you've got to go for it. He's gone for it. Absolutely nailed it to the spot. Out of the old sixpence. Thank you very much. And then, anyway, let's move on. Big scrum time now again.
And now Worcester taking their time, settling down, just watching that clock ticking down. This would be a big victory for Worcester here.
Both come out.
It really
Both
would.
come out.
To back up that victory against Wasp. They have not had back-to-back wins in the Premiership. 35 games.
Clear it, the base. Clear it. Clear it.
It's massive. Again,
But when it
back
is,
to
but
back,
when it is.
8 points when you're struggling at the bottom, and they are struggling. Wasps will have fallen down. They may fall even further if they don't get anything against Leicester. Newcastle, obviously rooted to the bottom at the moment, but you've got to get a few wins to give you confidence.
And the last we heard
Let's get it in.
from Kingston Park was 10-0 to Exeter.
Okay, we're here.
13-3 now. Kingston Park is...
Knock on from Blue.
Gloucester got the free kick. Knock on. Calling the crowd. It went backwards. Here's Burns out wide. May. Step. Good defence from Garvey. Pennell was there as well. Gloucester wants something from this game. A bonus point at very least. Burns again goes wide. Strokosh meets Rasmussen. We get too much change out of that collision. Chris Jones goes in. Penalty again. Lewis. Cortese. He's dropped it as well. Burns trying to do an Andy Good and go underneath the sticks. Now they've got plenty of men over. Surely it is another try for Gloucester. And it's Johnny May. Five tries now this season, 2 against Worcester, Johnny May. He does like scoring, and there is the losing bonus point, at least.
At least, again, an important kick. Well, it's only important if they don't come back and score, I suppose. And this, you think that ball has gone back. Well, it's a decision by Martin Fox, the referee. It has gone back, doesn't matter. And then when that ball comes out, oodles of people to score. Simpson, Daniel, May, an easy walk in. That gets them to within 6. This to within 4. No, they don't. It's back to within 6.
Yeah, got it, mate.
Converted try now, and Gloucester go unhappy. And how quick do you think... There's the try from May, simple walk. And how quick do you think Richard Hill looks on that Worcester are just trudging back up the field after that conversion? They're taking their time. They won't be forcing this kick. Andy Good is just loitering with intent.
Time off.
And
Time is off.
therefore, Martin Fox says time off.
There we put it right. Just wait.
First points
Time
of the
is off.
second half for Gloucester then. 6
What's going on, Luke? Because he's
points.
staying on here.
The difference.
There's a sub happening for Worcester.
Yeah. Oliver Tomaszek coming on
Time
for
on.
Tavita Timo Piao. He's had a tremendous afternoon, isn't he? The big Tongan. Right, to say Pete Buxton is on as well in his 250th competitive appearance for Gloucester. He's had a special shirt made for him.
Gloucester have got to go a long way here, but they've got the capability and they've definitely got the pace.
Shuffled him out to touch. Matt Cox.
No, it's
And
not
they're
yours.
going nowhere. That's what
Not
Worcester are
yours,
saying.
don't wait.
You're going nowhere, Gloucester. And you're going back down the
Time
M5
off.
with a loss.
Time off.
Dowie, man of the match.
Two
time.
head
Well, as you
injuries.
can see, Sean Perry's nearly knocked himself out with a defensive tackle.
Two head injuries.
Dale Rasmussen has been absolutely
Okay.
brilliant today, but the key, the capstone, the cornerstone, whatever you want to call it, is come from Tavito Tamapiao in the front row, the tight head prop. 29 caps for Tonga. He has been the key element of this victory today. The Garvey try will be crucial, and it has been crucial. The guy that set the platform, set the grunt up front, has been that man. That's my Aviva Premiership man of the match.
I remember that
up you
moment
go.
just before half-time. That huge scrum. Everyone came in to rush
on.
and congratulate their
Let's keep
tight
at the
head
back.
prop that gave Carlisle the opportunity to make
Get
it
in.
10-6.
Yeah,
It was
he's had a-
ahead of half-time.
Again, it hasn't been the prettiest of game. It doesn't matter. They've got 4 points for Worcester. That's all it's been about. And that guy has done his job today. Absolutely fantastic. And, you know, who would ever want to be a tight head prop? But if you are going to be one, you might as well be one of the best. And he's done a great performance today for the Warriors.
Jones takes the line out. 20 or so seconds left. And they will not put this out to the backs, will they?
Not if Sean Perry's got anything to do with it at scrum half there. They'll just keep it driving. Unless they're going to use it twice. They said he's through the middle.
Need to keep possession here, Worcester. They can't allow Gloucester on their backs to take possession here. Andy Good stands over the ball. Clock is ticking down. 80 minutes is up. Andy Good kicks it out. And look what it means to the Worcester players. They have beaten their nearest and dearest rivals here, and they have also won back-to-back Premiership games for the first time with 35 attempts. Gloucester go back down the M5 with a losing bonus point, but it's Worcester with a really determined, gritty performance. Couple of tries in there as well, and they have won here at Six Ways, 21 points to 15.
Well, what a gutsy win from Worcester, one they desperately needed, and for the first time in nearly 3 years, the Warriors have recorded back-to-back Premiership wins. Andy Good, instrumental off the bench, his try getting them going in the second half before Marcel Garvey rounded it off with a length of the field effort. Gloucester will return to Kingsholm, tearing their hair out. That was a pretty poor second-half performance all round from the Cherry and Whites. So it's Worcester who take the win. Gloucester do pick up a losing bonus point, and a latest score from Kingston Park as well. Exeter 13-3 up on Newcastle. At the moment, the Falcons not even collecting a losing bonus point at home. The Chiefs look as if they'll return to winning ways after a couple of Premiership losses. Leicester Wasps coming up very shortly, and 2 games for you tomorrow. In terms of what those results have done today, well, this is as it stands, and the win for Worcester lifts them 14 clear of Newcastle if that result comes in from Kingston Park. Still 10 the difference between Newcastle and Wasps, who of course in action in our second game of the day. At the top, it's Quins who still lead the way, but Sarries will look to close that gap tomorrow, and Leicester, if they can record a win, will look to go above Northampton in our game coming up very shortly. And the fans, as always, are filing in here at Welford Road. When Leicester are in good voice, their fans tend to follow